You ever notice how there seems to be a hidden formula behind some of the most popular videos online? Like a kind of blueprint for grabbing our attention and promising, well, pretty much everything. Okay, let's get into it. You know exactly the ones I'm talking about. You're just scrolling through your YouTube page and bam, there it is. A thumbnail with some really bold text, maybe a stoic-looking statue, or the silhouette of some guy in a power suit. They all feel so familiar, right? Like they're all part of the same big series. And the promises they make are huge. I'm not talking about small tips here and there. We're talking fundamental, life-altering changes. How to be smarter, how to be more confident, more powerful, and it's all usually packaged as like a 2-hour audiobook you can just hit play on and absorb.
So what happens if we actually stop scrolling and take a second to analyze what's really going on here? What is this whole genre of content actually about, and why is it so ridiculously effective? That's what we're going to do today. We're putting this blueprint right under the microscope.
All right, to kick things off, let's just dissect a perfect example of one of these. We're going to break down a single video to see exactly how it works from the outside in. So, the very first thing that hits you is the social proof. This isn't some random video buried in the algorithm. This thing has nearly 500,000 views. Before you even have a clue what it's about, your brain just goes, whoa, a lot of other people think this is important.
And then you read the title. Get this, it's not just public speaking tips, oh no. It's how to speak smart. It promises you'll master the psychology of powerful communication. I mean, every single word there is chosen to make it sound like you're about to learn some deep transformative secret.
So, you put all those pieces together, this big, powerful title, the massive social proof with all the views and likes, and then a channel name like Elite Audiobooks. It creates this almost irresistible package. Before you've even heard a single second of the actual content, you're totally primed to believe it's holding something really valuable and exclusive. It's just a masterclass in packaging.
But look, one video, that's just an anecdote, right? The real pattern, the blueprint, really starts to show itself when you look at what YouTube recommends you watch next. This is where it gets really interesting. I mean, if you just strip away all the narration and the generic stock footage, what is the actual product here? It's not just information, it's a feeling, right? It's an identity. It's the promise of becoming a totally different version of yourself.
And this is where it gets fascinating. As we looked through all the recommended videos, this super clear pattern just jumped out. The same keywords were everywhere, over and over again. Power, control, outsmart, and this one that's particularly wild, dark psychology. Come on, this is no accident. It's a very specific language that's designed to tap into a very specific and very human desire.
And what this all shows is a really fundamental shift. You know, traditional self-help was usually about the slow internal grind, building your skills over time. This new wave, it's totally different. It's all about getting your hands on secrets, psychological tricks, and social advantages so you can get ahead of other people. It's less about self-improvement and way more about social positioning.
See, these videos don't just exist on their own. They all link to each other, creating this powerful, self-reinforcing echo chamber of ideas. You can actually watch how one concept escalates into the next one. So, it often starts with a simple, pretty appealing idea like this one. Gain control over your life by not reacting to things. You know, a kind of stoic, powerful concept. But then the algorithm takes you one step further. The next video it shows you is more extreme, more absolute. Now it's not just about self-control. It's about tactically ignoring people. It's almost a Machiavellian approach to your social life. And where does this road eventually lead? Well, pretty often it leads to the ultimate expression of this whole worldview, Robert Greene's The 48 Laws of Power, which is basically a manual for strategic and sometimes pretty ruthless social climbing. You can literally see the thematic pipeline at work. Okay, so here's the absolute key to all of this. None of it is random. Every single one of these titles is meticulously engineered to hit a core human need. A phrase like dangerously confident isn't just about confidence, no, it's tapping into our deep need for status. Outsmart any situation promises control in a world that feels totally out of control. It is a masterclass in psychological marketing, turning our deepest insecurities into content we can't help but click on.
So, we've seen the what and the how. Let's finish up with the big one, the why. Why is this formula so completely irresistible to our brains?
The journey is simple, and honestly, it's universal. It starts with that feeling of lack, that desire to be more confident or more respected, or just more in control of things. So we turn to the internet for an answer, and we find a video that doesn't promise hard work. It promises a hack, a secret. And the click itself feels like that first step towards empowerment.
And that's really the heart of this entire blueprint. In a world that can feel chaotic and super competitive, these videos offer up this compelling fantasy that with just the right secret knowledge, you can get control, you can get an advantage, and you can get a better life, all just by listening. So it really leaves us with a fascinating question to think about the next time one of these videos pops up in our feed. When we reach for these digital tools for self-improvement, are we actually doing the hard work of learning and growing? Or are we just satisfying that impulse to click for a quick, easy hit of power?